YouTube, how's it going? Welcome back to Bananas Epic Gaming, and today on Bananas Epic Gaming, we are doing another episode of CageTalk. Now, on this episode of CageTalk, I'm going to be doing my yearly 7-round mock draft for my Arizona Cardinals. Now, please keep in mind, this is what I would do if I was in charge of the Arizona Cardinals or had an open line of communication. I'm going to go through some free agency stuff that I would do as well. But before I do all that, please be sure to like and subscribe. Tap the little bell on my YouTube app so you never miss an upload. And now let's get into the Arizona Cardinals offseason and NFL draft. So first up, we're going to be talking about the extending Trey McBride to be a top priority this offseason. A 4-year deal, $11 million a year, $24 million in base salary. If we want to do a 5-year deal, let's do 5 years, $11 million, $35 million base salary. Then he'll be in the top, I believe, 4 or 5 tight ends, money-wise. Off-season cuts, Jalen Thompson is going to suck, but Rabbit is going to get playing time, and Buda Baker just got extended. So Jalen, who will be a free agent next season, is going to be the odd man out. Jonah Williams was not a fan of the signing. I want to get younger on the offensive line. So those two right there will be giving us $20 million back in the cap room. A restructure, Justin Jones, we can get $5 million for that, and 3 void years. The void years could come into effect if you were to retire or get hurt or break the law and were to get suspended from the NFL. So that should be something that we should do. Players to bring back. Baron Browning on a 3-year, $3 million a year, $9 million base salary. We gave up a draft pick for this guy, so he should be back in some capacity. LJ Collier on a 2-year, $2 million a year contract, $4 million base salary. He can get pressure, and he's been a good piece that the Cardinals have brought in for the last couple of years. So I'll be okay with giving him that contract. Aaron Brewer, 2-year, $840,000. You can do $1.2 million in base salary for our long snapper. Greg Dortch, a 2-year, $2 million a year, $4 million base salary. Greg Dortch will be receiver 5 or 6. So he will be playing primarily special teams. Hernandez. Now, Hernandez, I would give him a 2-year, $4 million base salary contract. At least that. I'll give him an $8 million is the cap room for him. He has said he wants to come back. He loves Arizona. He loves his teammates, but he's coming off of a major injury. That's why his first offer, the $2 million a year, is so low. But I would give him $4 million because he's been a tremendous piece that we have brought in, and he could be a backup until he can get healthy. Now the players to bring in. Josh Sweat on a 3-year, $5 million a year contract, 15 total base salary. Josh Sweat played for Jonathan Gannon when Gannon was in Philadelphia, so I can see him being one of the big pieces that we go after in the off season because we need edge rushing help. That's why I have us taking 2, 3, 4 edge rushers / defensive linemen in free agency, and Josh Sweat is the first guy. Andy Dalton on a 2-year, $3 million a year contract, $6 million base salary with an $840,000 signing bonus. Andy Dalton is being brought in to be that veteran presence for Kyler Murray and to be the guy in Kyler Murray's ear to show Kyler what he sees, and Kyler can tell him what he sees on the field. Hopefully, Andy Dalton won't be playing that much, maybe only the week 17 and 18 if we are in position to rest our starters. Asante Samuel Jr. on a 4-year, $28 million contract, $7 million a year. He can pair up with Garrett Williams and Mad Max Melton as defensive back 2/3. And we would also have Sean Murphy Bunting and company on the bench, giving us one of the better DB rooms in the NFC and the NFL in total. Now, the guy that we will be breaking the bank for, and he is worth it, a $54 million base salary that will be $12 million a year for 5 years for Trey Smith. Trey Smith has been protecting Patrick Mahomes' blind side, so getting him to come over to protect Kyler Murray is going to cost a little, and he is worth it. I've seen multiple Cardinal fans and people that work in Arizona that do podcasts that want us to break the bank and get Trey Smith. Trey Smith should be an Arizona Cardinal, and I think everybody would be okay with them going after Trey Smith. Ageez Ojulari, a 3-year deal, $4 million a year, $12 million base salary. We can give something that nobody else can. Ageez wants to play with his brother BJ, so they can be playing together for 3 years. Cody Ford on a 2-year, $2 million contract, $4 million base salary. Cody Ford can play guard and tackle, so he will be versatile in case anybody goes down. He will be the backup to Trey Smith in this scenario. Cody Ford to the Cardinals should happen again, and he can play with his good friend Kyler Murray. Elijah Moore, 3-year deal, $4.4 million a year. Elijah Moore can come in and be wide receiver 2/3 behind Michael Wilson and Marvin Harrison Jr. And Kyler Murray gets another big weapon to throw to. Milton Williams, a big D tackle, 4-year, $6 million a year contract. That will be $24 million in base salary. We get another big body to load up the defensive line. Hassan Reddick, that's a 2-year deal, $11 million a year, $22 million in base salary. Hassan Reddick can come in and return home and help Arizona Cardinals take the next step. And the last guy we would bring in is a guy named Devin Bush on a 3-year deal, $3 million a year, $9 million in base salary. Now, with that being said, the Arizona Cardinals will be in prime position to take the best player available in the draft. I'm sorry about that. My dog was barking because he needed to go out. But the Arizona Cardinals, if they're going to spend money, it will be this season because they don't have that many free agents that need to get signed next season. We got Blake Gillikin and we got Chad Ryland, our punter and our kicker. And everybody else, you could make a case for saying they are replaceable. So the Cardinals, they need to go out and sign quality players this season. And I gave the list of good players that could be either starters or rotational pieces that could help us take the next step. The Cardinals are now, if we were to do this, we are now in prime position to take the best player available. We spent a little over $50 million in cap room in the offseason at this point. We spaced it out. We brought in starters. We brought in players that have made a name for themselves, that know what it takes to get to the next step. Now, the Arizona Cardinals must do that this season, because we saw what we can do with the roster that we had, and we came 2 games away from reaching the playoffs. We were fighting tooth and nail against playoff teams. We almost beat Buffalo. The only game that we got blown out from was against Washington. Every game that we lost this season, other than the Washington game, we could have won if we would have had the right pieces in play and we didn't make stupid calls. Now, the Arizona Cardinals, please do this. So, with that being said, let's get into the NFL draft. Now, the NFL draft, we are picking pick 16, but I'm going to trade down in the NFL draft. I want to get a couple more picks, a couple more players to bring out the best team possible. So, with that being said, let's talk about the 2025 NFL draft, the only mock draft for the Cardinals I will be doing this season. So, coming up in the NFL draft, we can take the best player available or the player that we want. And after we do all these signings, we will have close to $43 million in cap room. And we don't really have anybody on the books for 2026 that we need to resign other than our punter and our kicker. Everybody else, you could get an upgrade. Jalen Thompson is somebody, but we let him go in this scenario. But 2027 is the year we got to watch out for because we got Connor, Bunting, Pierce Johnson Jr., Zayvon Collins, Nichols, our center, Mac Wilson, B.J. Ojolari, Garrett Williams, Michael Wilson, Cagetalk Clark, and Dante Stills. We got 12 people that I would bring back, and maybe John Gaines, so 13. But 12 should be locked in for sure coming back. So this year and maybe a little bit next year in 2026 and 2027, we can spend a lot of money. We can spend money to get this team ready. But the window now is make the playoffs and win a playoff game. So the Cardinals need to do that, and with everything that we have done in free agency, we have. In this scenario, we have taken the steps to say, okay, let's do this. Now the Arizona Cardinals are on the clock at pick 16. And my Arizona Cardinals should be looking at a trade back option. Now, I'm having them trade back with the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers need a wide receiver tight end for Justin Herbert. And luckily, one of the top receivers in the draft is here. And the Chargers can move up and get their guy. The Chargers are going to be giving up pick 22 in the first. In the second round, pick 55. Fourth round, 124. Fifth round, 177. And the sixth round pick is pick 201. And they get pick 16. They come up and get Luther Burden, wide receiver from Missouri. Now the Cardinals are back on the clock at pick 22. I'm sorry. I was looking at pick 47 because I already had that picked out. So we're on the clock at pick 22. And if you've been paying attention, the Arizona Cardinals brought in new personnel. And one of those new personnel that we have brought in is from the Ohio State University. And the Cardinals, the last couple of years, they have been bringing in Buckeyes. They brought in Marvin Harrison Jr. this past season, and they brought in Paris Johnson Jr. the season before that. So I'm going to have the Arizona Cardinals replace Jonah Williams right here with the guy that's going to be holding it down for the next decade. So, with the 22nd pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Josh Simmons, offensive tackle out of the Ohio State University. So, Josh Simmons coming in will be playing on the opposite side of Paris Johnson Jr., and he's going to be having somebody else that is a rookie playing right beside him. Monty will be able to finish his offensive line wall to protect Kyler Murray. Josh Simmons is a 3-year starter who originally spent 2 years at San Diego State, where he started 13 games at right tackle before he transferred to Ohio State prior to the 2023 season. Arriving in Columbus, Simmons has started 18 games, 13 at right tackle, 5 at left tackle. Inside the Buckeyes' 54-48 pass rush split. Multiple run scheme often centered around zone and pin and pull with gap principles mixed in. Simmons has a muscular, athletic, and well-rounded lean build with a good length and very good athletic ability and play strength. Uh, Josh is going to be either playing with a rookie or, in this scenario, Cody Ford on his left side. He can play right or left tackle. I would have him at right tackle and have Paris at left. And then this offensive line is the perfect lineup for Kyler Murray to work his magic. Because losing Jonah Williams hurt, but Josh will give you youth and a player who has a history with Paris Johnson Jr. and can build that offensive lineman bond. Kyler Murray, you are fully protected. Because I'm going to make sure that you never get hurt. And Josh is the first step. Now on to the next pick. And coming up next is going to be pick 47. Now for this one, you can go to the edge or you can go into the interior D-line. But with us bringing in Hassan Reddick and Josh Sweat, the edge, I believe, will be okay for now. And Ojulari, his brother, can play on the edge too. I'm going to get arguably one of the best defensive tackles in the draft, who is, his floor is, I want to say, 147, and his ceiling, the highest he might get drafted, is in the 20s. But this player getting drafted here will fill a need in the Arizona Cardinals defensive line because people have been able to run the ball right down the middle. And getting a big-bodied player like this individual will help the Cardinals stop that. So, with the 47th pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Derrick Harmon, defensive tackle out of Oregon. Now, Derrick stands in at 6'5", 310 pounds, and he has good size for an NFL defensive tackle. With a thick build and long arms, Derrick has impressive upper body strength to gain control over the block and to get extension against the interior offensive line. As a run defender, he takes on blocks with a wide base and good upper pad level to help stay in his gap against double teams and combo blocks. He has a nice rip move to defeat blocks and get penetration as a run defender, and win with his pass rushing ability. Aggressive as the pick, the player in the line gains to catch offensive linemen off guard and get penetration after transferring from Michigan State. Derrick bursted onto the scene this past season for the top-ranked Oregon Ducks, and he took advantage of the national stage by becoming one of the top defensive tackles prospects in this year's class. Derrick's ability to take on double teams is a big part of what sets him apart as a run defender. He takes on blocks with good upper pad level and a wide, sturdy base, making him hard to move against. Overall, Derrick is projected to be an impact starter for whatever team he goes to, and he can contribute on all three downs, especially if he continues to grow as a pass rusher. Scheming wise, he would be best fitted in a 2-1 technique in even fronts, but he has the versatility to line up anywhere on the defensive line, even as a nose tackle. And the Arizona Cardinals get a stud of a player here in the second round, the first of two picks in the second round, and they feel a need that they can continue to build the trenches and make a run to win the NFC West title. Now on to the next pick. And coming up next is pick 55. Pick 55 we got from trading down with the Los Angeles Chargers. Now this pick is going to be us rounding out our offensive line, and we're going to get a guy that can play either guard or tackle, which is why we brought in Cody Ford and we brought back Kelvin Beachum. This guy can learn from Kelvin Beachum, but he will be starting. But he will be starting over Cody Ford. And if somebody would go down in an injury or whatever, he will be able to move around the board, so to speak. So with that being said, with the 55th pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Jonah Savaviinaea, interior offensive line, out of Arizona University. Now, Jonah Savaviinaea, coming out of Arizona, he is going to be playing on the opposite side of Smith, who we brought in via free agency. I enjoyed Savaviinaea's tape, but it was evident early on that his best position at the next level will be playing in the inside of the offensive line at guard. While there are things that I can suggest him playing tackle at the next level, it's not ideally suited for him, and that's not what he would be best at, in my opinion. However, there is a quality of Savaviinaea being a guard, in my opinion. I'm optimistic about his growth year over year, and his hand placement and play strength and frame and awareness give him great flooring in the NFL. And as an NFL offensive lineman, Jonah should be able to come into the Arizona Cardinals and be able to take the starting guard position on the opposite side of Smith. He falls to Arizona, and he will be able to protect Kyler Murray for years to come and build that wall for Arizona, so Arizona can make a run at the NFC West. Now on to the next pick. The Arizona Cardinals are getting quality starters and impact players. Savaviinaea is also one of my top 10 offensive linemen. He is my third interior lineman, and the Cardinals get a steal. But coming in at pick 78 in the third round, the Arizona Cardinals are back on the clock, and we are going to address the edge rushing room, because I like this player, and his ceiling, to me, is the third round. He will be a quality depth piece. He could also be a starter. But with us bringing in who I predicted us to bring in and break a little bit of the bank for, he could learn from Haason Reddick, and he could also be a piece for Josh Sweat to be like, this is what needs to be done. So with the 78th pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Josaiah Stewart, edge rusher, out of Michigan. Now, Josaiah would come in and be able to learn from Haason Reddick, who he would be taking over in a year and a half. Josaiah's profile as a high upside edge rusher with the immediate third down value, his explosive first step and diverse pass rushing move will translate well into the NFL, making him a potential impact player in sub packages from day one. While he may not start right off the rip, Stewart has the tools to develop into an every down player. His frame and athleticism fits the mold of the modern day edge rushing defender, allowing scheme versatility in both 3-4 and 4-3 fronts. Stewart's ability to drop into coverage adds value into his zone blitzing packages. His motor and pursuit skills will endure him to coaches and make him a core special teamer to play early in his career. The Arizona Cardinals get a stud here in round 3 at pick 78, and we will be able to develop him over the next year and a half as he plays behind Haason Reddick and company. And I can see us moving on from Haason Reddick after the contract's up, because we will have the heir to his position in Josaiah. Josaiah should be an Arizona Cardinal, and I will be perfectly okay with taking our edge rusher in round 3. Now on to the next pick. And coming up next in round 4, the first 2 of 4 picks that we got, because we got a 4th round pick from trading with the Los Angeles Chargers. At pick 114, the Arizona Cardinals. I have them dipping into the defensive back pool because you can never not have enough good defensive backs, and I want to build that defensive backfield and get depth players that could be starters that could step up if somebody goes down. So with the 114th pick, the Cardinals are going to be looking at a Arizona guy who is from Arizona that left the state to play college ball. So with the 114th pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Denzel Burke, defensive back out of The Ohio State University. Denzel Burke is a well-rounded cornerback prospect with an ideal size and athleticism for the NFL. He stands in a 6'1". He's a little undersized at 193. Burke has the length and physical traits that should make an easy transition into the NFL. His scheme and versatility and physicality in the run support makes him a potential impact starter at the next level. The Arizona Cardinals will get another stud to pair along with the likes of Garrett Williams, Mad Max Melton, and company, especially Asante Samuel Jr. and Sean Murphy Bunting. So he would be the 4th or 5th defensive back on the depth chart. Burke excels in a versatile defender role. He can play both press and off coverage. His athleticism shines in his ability to explode out of breaks and carry receivers deep with his long speed. The Arizona Cardinals get a stud here in round 4, and they can continue to build that defense to win championships. His defense wins championships. Now on to the next pick. Coming up next is going to be the 4th round pick that we got from the Chargers, and we are going to dip our hands into the receiving room. We're going to get a wide receiver that could pair along with Elijah Moore, Michael Wilson, Greg Dortch, and Marvin Harrison Jr. This receiver needs to be somebody that could take that next step and help us reach the playoffs. This receiver is going to be coming in as a receiver 4, because receiver 5 is Greg Dortch, and 6 could go to Palmer or whoever. So this receiver, I believe, will be better than Dortch and company, who are 6 and 7 on the depth chart. So with the 124th pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Troy Horton, wide receiver out of Colorado State. Troy Horton possesses the tools and the on-field production to make him an impact starter at the next level, which is the NFL. His ability to stretch the field vertically, combined with his size and speed, makes him an enticing prospect for any NFL team. However, to reach his full potential, Horton needs to refine his route running and improve his eliminations on his drops. His versatility in playing both on the outside and the inside the slot, along with his experience as a punt returner, adds his value to his draft stock. While his lean build and lack of elite agility may limit his impact, his work ethic and his commitment to improvement suggests he has an upside to develop into a reliable starter into the NFL. And now the Arizona Cardinals will get a starter that they could put on the field and give Kyler Murray all the weapons that he could ask for. Troy Horton will be coming in as wide receiver 4 behind Elijah Moore, Michael Wilson, and Marvin Harrison Jr. He should be an impact starter on day 1. Now on to the next pick. So the Arizona Cardinals are on the clock again at 153 in round 5, and this player will be gone maybe by pick 153, because he is climbing up some people's draft boards, and he is one of the most fun people to watch. And there's going to be like 32 teams, all 32 teams will fall in love with this guy. But I have him falling here, and the Arizona Cardinals are going to take him to have a three-headed running back monster. So, with the 153rd pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Skattebo, running back out of ASU. The Arizona Cardinals getting another running back here to pair along with James Conner and Trey Benson is one of the best things that they can do, because every few years a running back emerges from the depths of college football that forces the NFL evaluators to throw their traditional metrics out the window. And Skattebo fits that mold perfectly. The former Sacramento State standout who transformed himself from the FCS transfer to a Heisman finalist from the sheer force of will. His tape shows he's a runner who seems to feed off of being overlooked and consistently outperforming his athletic testing numbers through exponential instincts and raw determination. The Arizona Cardinals get an absolute dog who will more than likely really not be here because teams are loving Skattebo. But in this mock, he falls. And the Cardinals get an absolute stud at the running back position to pair up with their two-headed monster. Now on to the next pick. And coming up next in the 6th round, at pick 177, the Arizona Cardinals are back on the clock. And this is one of the last two picks that we got from the trade down with the Los Angeles Chargers. And the Arizona Cardinals are going to take another depth piece for the defensive line to pair along with Derrick Harmon and Darius Robinson, Milton Williams, and company. This player is a day 3 player that I've seen him. The latest he goes is round 6. The Arizona Cardinals get a player that could be a good depth piece and special teams. So with the 177th pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Aneas Peebles, defensive tackle out of Virginia Tech. So Peebles going to the Cardinals is a good fit because Peebles projects as a rotational interior defensive lineman with the potential to develop into a force to be reckoned with. His quickness and ability to provide a consistent interior pass rush makes him an interrogating prospect for teams employing a one-gap scheme. While his size may limit him in some aspects, his motor and versatility could make him a valuable in sub-packages and passing situations. The Cardinals get him to go along with LG Collier, Milton Williams, Hassan Reddick, Darius Robinson, and company. Peebles might be seeing special teams in the first year or so of his rookie contract. The Cardinals get a player that could blossom into a really good rotational piece. And the Cardinals get another piece of that defense because defense wins championships. Now on to our last pick. And the Arizona Cardinals are back on the clock at pick 201 in the 7th round. Now the Arizona Cardinals, I believe, are going to get another defensive player, and this player will pair up and learn behind Budda Baker. And you can put him with Rabbit as well. We're going to get a safety. And some may say this is reaching, but I really like this player. He has some potential if he has the right coaching staff and has a good veteran that he can learn from. And that's what Budda Baker is. He is a top 5 safety, in my opinion. So, with the 201st pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Shilo Sanders out of Colorado. Now, Shilo, despite his setbacks from his shoulder injury, he remains one of the most intriguing safety prospects in the 2025 class. His combination of his football IQ, playmaking ability, and his NFL pedigree could see him climb up draft boards once he's back to full health. I have him falling dramatically because of needs and his injury, and people say that he's not having the best Senior Bowl. But Sanders has showed his consistently that he has the ability to adapt and excel in new environments, which suggests that he has the mental toughness to overcome the challenge the NFL will give him. Shilo is projected to be a potential day 3 pick, at earliest a late day 2, with the upside to become an impact player in the right system. His instincts in zone coverage and creating turnovers will be attractive to teams looking to booster their secondary. While he may need time to fully recover and adjust to the NFL game, Shilo has the tools to eventually compete for a starting role and to make his mark on Sundays. With his track record and his resilience of playmaking ability, don't be surprised if Shilo emerges as one of the top safeties in the draft when all is said and done. Teams will be willing to be patient with his development, can find themselves with a defensive gem capable of changing the game, and his ball hawking skills and his football ability. Shilo Sanders will be arguably one of the steals of the draft if he can take it to the next level and be like his father. Shilo Sanders to the Arizona Cardinals is a win-win for everybody involved. Shilo gets to not play in the same division as his brother, and he gets to go and learn from one of the best safeties in Budda Baker. Now, I want to thank you guys for watching. Now, if the Arizona Cardinals can do this, this will be the perfect offseason for them. They get playmakers, they get to bring in quality starters, and they get to hopefully take that next step to winning the NFC West and getting into the playoffs. And hopefully winning a playoff game. The Arizona Cardinals, they are a couple pieces away, man, from being serious contenders. And I pinpointed the perfect and most dreamy offseason for them. As a Cardinal fan, if we can do this, I will be fully confident going into next season. Thank you guys for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe. Tap the little bell on the YouTube app so you never miss an upload. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.